Say you're about to light a campfire. Don't you for a second think about taking up your lantern. Don't do it. You ain't got time for that. Instead, start swinging your sword at it. There you go. Here's a cool little detail. The crosshair crack you use to aim with your eye of reach is visible on the outside of some of the scopes. But on a launch crew scope, you can see that crack ain't centered. If you're about to light a campfire, don't you dare for a second think about using your lantern or sword. Instead, shoot at it. It's just more efficient. Here's one I bet none of you knew. Pigs won't run away if you hold out food to them. Makes sense since they are the only animal in the game that eats. Well, I guess sharks also eat you. That makes only 2 animals you can see eat in the game. I mean, of course that has to work. If you stand right here on the very edge of the mast, and this works on any ship, you don't get the wind streaks in the sky while on a ship. This feature is for your filmmakers out there. Did you know you can place a trinket right here in every tavern next to the Glitterbeard book? Oh, you did? Well, did you know that pigs and sharks are not the only animals we can visually see eating in the game? My dog can also eat food. Now we're learning stuff. Did you know that every loot you dig up points to the east? It's true. This means if someone asks you which way north is while on an island, instead of taking out your compass, you can just dig up the loot. Or they can use their own compass. And while on the subject of east, did you know if you throw a blunder bomb at a campfire, it will not ignite? It actually won't ignite with the blunder bomb from any angle. But speaking of any angle, did you know that the Ferry of the Damned always goes towards the east? Oh, you knew that? Liar. When you're doing a fort, take note of which skeleton type spawns with kegs, because that means the next time that skeleton type spawns, they will bring kegs with them. For example, if 10 shadow skeletons spawns with 2 blunderbusses, 3 pistols, 3 swords and 2 kegs, until you've completed this fort, that is what shadow skeletons will always spawn with each wave. Unless you're on the last 3 phases, where either a skeleton captain, Ashen Keymaster, Ashen Guardian, or one of the skeleton lords will take one of the shadow skeleton slots at random. Speaking of shadow skeletons, you can light them up at night with the flare. And that's how you do a segue. No, you cannot ignite a campfire with cannonballs. Speaking of shooting cannonballs, by the way, when you're on the ship and look straight into the wind, you'll hear a slight blow in the air. Speaking of blowing stuff into your air, once you get your campfire ignited, you can put it out by throwing water on it. You can even throw water on your sleeping crewmates to wake them up, or just vomit on them. That works too. One question remains though.
Can you see if you can extinguish a campfire with vomit for me, please? So I know that you can, if you throw a bucket of vomit at a fire, it will put it out. Also, like chip fire as well. But I don't know if vomiting directly onto it will put it out. So now this needs to be scienced.
With all this information, get your whole crew vomiting on the deck to put out a fire. This here is Tony. Tony works on Daggertooth and he speaks phonetically backwards.
Ole, I'm Doug, I'm O'Clev, Rachel.
See, he does not speak normally, then in the edit has been reversed. No, Tony here reads his lines backwards.
Sknat.
Which makes deciphering what he is saying a little bit harder, but we can give it a go.
Ole, hello, I'm O'Clev, välkommen. Rachel, last year. Ja, Doug, good night. Sknat.
By the way, Tony is voiced by Guillaume, one of the sound people on Sea of Thieves. Speaking of sound in Sea of Thieves, if you're underwater and spam the open radial button, you spawn bubbles. And while on the subject of sound in the game, larger pirates sit differently than skinnier pirates. No, that was not a good segue, my guy. How long does loot stay afloat? I know from experience that merchant loot floats longer than any other loot. Let's test this. Oh, I gotta go and make sure that I don't time out. Hold on. Don't sink yet. There we go. Let me just touch the cannon. Alright, let's get back to this. There you go. Alright. Alright, resume. Why isn't this working? Why aren't you any of your floating speeds? Why aren't any of you sinking yet? It's been so long. What's going? Let's continue. Did you guys know that loot won't sink near land? That's some useless information right there. Now look at this. How about that? Whoever at Rare was assigned to make the campfire deserves a raise. This is the most polished thing in the game. Now check this out. If a cannon is fired at a distance, the sound comes after the cannon has been visually fired. Like how it would be in real life. Check this out. How long is this campfire list now? You can ignite a campfire with a lantern, sword, bullets, keg, firebomb, ashen wind skull, and extinguish it with water, vomit, and presumably rain. Good. With this polishing resume, we're left with one remaining question. Will a keg explode if placed on a campfire? Oh man, I thought... This stick doesn't work.